Lady Penelope Crichton Ward speaking. I'm simply delighted to have this opportunity of speaking to all my friends. Your wonderful enthusiasm for my activities in Thunderbirds has thrilled me tremendously. As a special treat, I would first of all like to introduce you to some of my friends from International Rescue. I do hope you enjoy the next half hour or so. Parker, we are off on a mission again.
Very good, milady. I'll meet you on the jetty.
Good morning, Skip, and thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Good morning there, Casey. Good evening from me, and nice to be invited. It's an honor. Thanks.
You're welcome. I thought we could start with a little bit of about you and your background. I would love to hear more about it.
Yeah, so my background is atypical. I've only been doing open source intelligence for a few years. Before that, I had a 17-year-long career in the military, doing things that had nothing to do with the internet or keyboards or computers. Then I went to studied sinology in the Netherlands, everything that has to do with China, also called China Studies, the language, everything that has to do with that. And then got a keen interest into finding stuff online. And then I found out that there was this thing called OSINT, which is a thing, and started focusing on that. And then found ways to mix my knack for languages into the OSINT realm, and then started doing that professionally for about 3 years now. Been doing that primarily for a Switzerland-based company called iIntelligence, teaching research online in Arabic, Chinese, and that's what I do.
Yeah, that's incredible. I can't believe you speak that many languages. I struggle with my own language, let alone multiple.
Don't worry, Casey. There's plenty of other things I struggle with, but the language part kind of works. So.
Yeah, excellent. And so you taught one of your courses today in Aruba, didn't you? How did that go?
I did. Yeah, it's actually was the very first time I taught this latest course I have in person. It's a 3.5-hour course on, in general, how do you tackle searching in foreign languages online. So yeah, it's been good fun. 3.5 hours of how to deal with not only different alphabets, but also different scripts and different regions, finding information. How do you find people? How do you find documents? And tackling that, because some of these languages can look quite intimidating. The ones I don't speak look intimidating to me too, but if you know how to chop languages into sections, then it's actually quite doable. So the whole purpose of the course is to give people a bit more confidence into tackling languages online, how to research that. And I'll be teaching this course actually down under for the first time in person as well in Sydney. Looking forward to that in September.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. I'll bring up the flyer. So September in Sydney, if anyone wants to join SKIP, I'm sure it'll be amazing. And we just know how important it is being so isolated in Australia. We have such a multicultural country though, but we still, I struggle with languages. Looking at them, like I said, I don't speak any other language. So when I get a case and it turns into a completely different language case, I can't do it. So your course will be very, very valuable for many people, I'm sure.
Well, thanks. By the way, if people are interested in joining this course in Sydney, I've got a 10% promo code which I can give out. It's IINT, that's India, November, Tango, 102023. They'll give people a 10% discount on that. It's funny you say that, but it's actually, I hear this a lot, right? Because it does look intimidating, especially these languages which have a different script. We're often tempted to ask somebody else who we know, hey, I'm not doing this. Can you do this for me, right? Whether it's for law enforcement, this happens a lot when people say, oh, oops, I'm not going there. That's not my language. I'm going to ask somebody else that does that and knows that. And these people end up getting a lot of requests from everybody just because they have this special skill. So they give themselves more and more work by doing the special skill. Well, actually, we can do quite a lot ourselves. And actually one of the easiest languages to search in online, other than English, of course, since you and I speak this language, would be Chinese, due to the simplicity of the characters online. There are difficult things with the language, but they don't apply to researching online. We also have Arabic. My colleague at iIntelligence gives the same course I do, 2.5 days of Russian OSINT, how to tackle that online. So, great course.
Yeah, wow. Okay, and so how long will your course be going for? Is that
this is going to be a morning. Yeah, 3.5 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, in September. Yeah, it will give you the basic foundations of how to work with another languages. Of course, every language has its small specificities, specific things, but in general, how to tackle that remains pretty much the same. If you apply, if you spend enough time looking for keywords and using your advanced Google operators and having a keen interest in looking at finding what you're looking for, that will do the trick in most cases. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. This is an invaluable course, and what an opportunity. And I'm so happy you're coming to Australia. It's fantastic. So make sure that I will put the code in the show notes that Skip has so generously given us, and you'll be able to screenshot that, but I'll also link it in the show notes as well. So thank you so much for joining us, and with your generous code, we really appreciate it. And we hope you have an amazing time down under. Will it be your
forward to its first time? Yeah, first time, definitely. Yeah. So definitely looking forward to it. A funny thing about languages is the thing I learned recently is the different ways of looking for keywords in Australia, because some people call it a potato scallop and some other people call it something different. I'm going to find this out. I'm going to do some investigating on my side.
Yeah, okay. That's fantastic. Lots of people call it different things. Oh God, I think I say scallop. Potato cake. Probably potato cake, actually.
I think I know what it looks like, but I still need to check it out. So I'll be doing that on day one.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll get an update after you've been down here, which would be amazing.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it, Casey. Cheers.
Thank you.
That was Casey Pyne and Skip SCHIPHORST, produced by Lady Penelope Crichton Ward. Not many investigators have had an honour like that, Casey Pyne.
Yeah, not many at all, I'm sure.
And that cactus graphic at the end there was a little bit close to those budgie smugglers, I think, and very uncomfortable. But this has really raised an interesting investigation point. If you live in Victoria, you know what a bogan is. If you live in Queensland, you don't really know what a bogan is. You don't really hear that. In Victoria, they don't often hear the term old mate. In Queensland, that term is just about every second, third sentence spoken. Old mate did this. Oh, who the hell's old mate? And it's a local foible that we all have with what we do. Pat Flynn did an investigation a couple of years back where he was interviewing someone and they said we slept in a donga. Now, unless you work out on a mining site or in the bush somewhere, you're not going to have a clue what a donga is. So Skip has raised a really interesting point in his international searches. And I want to be sitting in the front row of the Castlereagh Hotel and just watch what he's got to say. The fact that the Chinese writing is easier to search than the language, that was amazing. So really nice guy. Wasn't he a nice bloke, Casey?
Oh, so lovely. It's just like the power of LinkedIn. Skip and I connected probably the beginning of last year and started up a dialogue, and he asked if I wouldn't mind sharing. And of course, like, I follow everything. He puts out stuff on LinkedIn all the time, and I was like, absolutely. So just a really genuinely nice man that is coming here to talk about a very specific and very handy skill set. So yeah, it's going to be excellent.
Yeah, I love it when it's specific and it's not general. By the way, people, type in #spy into the chat. This time next week, you could be enjoying a cup of coffee like Chris does when he watches Sand Tipped. And Tim, I'm sorry, and Chris, not Tim, the Tim Tams. Chris, congratulations on gaining your Diploma of Security Risk Management. In case you'll be registering your USI today. Darren, congratulations, mate, on gaining your Certificate 3 in Investigative Services. Well done. You are going to be overloaded with work, which brings me to one of Kelly's questions. And she said to me, you know, what do people do? How do they go on? Do they get work? Whatever, whatever, whatever. This is the thing. This machine's telling us that there's 11 people watching us now. That's what it's telling us. I know it's a lot more than that. And when we have the replay, I know it's a hell of a lot more than that. And we get out to many thousands of people on this program. It's quite amazing, the reach that you get from a live stream. The people that are watching this now, who are students of the Australian Security Academy, won't be watching it this time next year. I know that. Why won't they be watching it this time next year? Because they're going to be so busy working and doing investigations, they won't have time. I've learnt that over the last 219 episodes of this. There's nothing wrong with that. You've got to start somewhere, okay? And every one of those people gets in touch with me for other things and other qualifications and guidance with Pat and me and Casey and whatever. But they're too busy to come and watch this. So that's just the way it evolves. So you get your qualification, get working. That's the way it goes. People, there is an enormous amount of work out there at the moment. There, on our website, our Facebook page, there are some great jobs. So let's have a look at some of the ones that are available this week. There's some really good opportunities this week to work in investigations. Hey, here's our jobs for the week ending 14th of July 2023. If you're seeking work as a licensed private investigator, corporate investigator or government investigator, jump on the Australian Private Investigator Corporate and Government Investigations jobs page. Here you'll see current and past jobs so you can do your research into what those different types of investigations are and how you can match your qualification to an application for employment. Brookside Investigations are seeking general insurance investigators in Melbourne and Sydney. General insurance investigation includes home burglary, home arson, public liability slip, trip and fall, public liability dog bite, emu attack, all those sorts of things, a person injured on your insured premises, and in some cases, a person who you injure even away from your home, depending on your policy. So get in touch with Brookside. It's a great opportunity to get into general insurance. M&A Investigations in Brisbane are seeking CTP liability investigators. When you apply for that job, you're going to be applying to the former head of the Transport Accident Commission Investigation Agency in Victoria. She knows her stuff, and you're an Australian Security Academy student graduate. She is too, and she knows that you have done the right course and that you were educated properly in CTP liability investigations by Pat Flynn. So that's just the first part of our jobs on that Facebook page. People, don't miss it. In the news this week, there's been a big kerfuffle down in New South Wales because security guards were working for New South Wales Health and they were unlicensed. And this was during the pandemic, and it's been claimed by the union down there that management just did a tick and flick exercise, bunged in any security guard that they could possibly get without doing background checks on them. So some of the issues were they didn't turn up, they were late, they weren't qualified, and they didn't speak English. So they were just some of the issues, and the union are kicking up and carrying on about them not being checked by their own Queensland Health and not being checked to see if they were licensed security guards. Now, the really interesting thing about all this is in New South Wales and in Victoria, you can pass a CPP, Certificate 2, in security operations and have 90% non-English speaking ability. It's incredible. Think about that for a minute. You've got to be able to dial 000 in a tight situation and you can't do it. And there are people down there who are security guards in supermarkets, in health facilities, even in defence facilities that lack that ability. And that's an issue that's come out and been highlighted in New South Wales through the health department down there this week. So that's really, really interesting. You are watching episode 220 of Spy Curious. And previously today, we had Investigations Uni where Pat Flynn was talking about inspections of accident scenes on stairs, and we looked at a whole range of different accidents. Casey, what have you got for us today?
Yeah, I just want to answer Joy's question first. Joy, I don't believe so. I think it's purely live training because it's for eye intelligence. I don't think that they stream because they do travel the world delivering this training. So unfortunately, this one will not be online. Now, what do I have here? Now, I spoke about this last week or maybe the week before for our Investigations Uni students, but I thought I'd share it here today because it's just a handy little tool. So we all know the Court Data Australian database website, and even though this isn't an open source intelligence tip because you do have to sign up, you need an account with them, but with this website, you can actually check to see if there's even a court record there first before you have to pay any money. So you can do 20 free searches a day as long as you're signed in. And then if just that way, you know whether there's something there and then you can pay for it. Or even if it's just a pivot point where maybe you're looking for a middle name, or like a hyphenated name. So I'll show you, I typed in John Smith just within the free, one of the free 20 searches, and you can see all of the ones that came up. So we've got Dylan, John Michael Smith, John Michael Smith, John Michael Naismith. So you can either use it as a pivot point or you can use it just to double check that there is a court record there that you're going to pay money for before you even put any money down. So you don't want to have to pay the money, and their prices are increasing. I believe they increased this month. So yeah, it's definitely a great feature to be able to have a look before you have to outlay any money. And that's my tip.
Very good tip, though. That's a money-saving tip, time-saving tip. And people, Casey keeps a record of these tips, and you can write to her and ask for it, and it actually updates. One of the most frightening documents you ever get is a Google document that updates. It's quite scary when you go back to it. There's all these changes and stuff to it. Sorry, I missed Joy's question. I do apologise for that. And Joy has said, thanks, Casey. So good on you, Joy. People, don't forget, look, type in the chat, #spy, and you might win the incredible Private Investigator coffee mug, which is essential. Everybody's got to have it. But as an extra bonus, the super duper, assume nothing, Spy Curious keyring, which hasn't got any keys on it. And it comes in a beautiful cardboard box. So
A keyring case.
Here's the coffee mug. It's already boxed up, ready to be posted to you. Here's the key ring that's coming with it. Type in #spy. Okay, other news this week. What's been happening around the place? Let's bring it up. Slade in New South Wales, the regulatory authority down there is coming. They have told every licensed investigator who has not produced their qualification that they got when they first got licensed that they'd better do it. This came out on SLED on their Facebook page this week, and they've said, get it into us, send us a copy. All you have to do, take a digital photograph of it, scan it, send it in. It's not difficult. Just do that, and SLED will mark you as compliant, right? So it's not a big ask. I did have a screenshot of one there, but I haven't. It's gone. Bad luck. But SLED have said, get it into us or you risk losing your license. Now, what does that mean? There are not a lot of licensed investigators out there at the moment, and there's an incredible amount of jobs. If you've got a license and it gets taken off you, you can't work, because the investigation agencies that you work for have an agreement with the insurance companies that they work for that they will only engage vetted by the government for a criminal history check and background check and fingerprints taken, appropriate people to hold a license. So you produce that certification you got when you first applied. No ifs, buts or maybes. It's the regulator telling you that, not me. You produce it or you could lose your license. Why aren't they emailing everyone? They haven't got a database on that. So what they've got to do is they've got to go around and knock on the door of all the investigation agencies that we talk about every week here and say, who you got on your list? Right. They haven't supplied that license, a copy of that qualification, they're losing their license. That's how it goes. That's what will happen. They're regulators. They regulate hard, and it's only fair on everybody else if they do it the same for everybody with no exceptions. That's the way it goes. Here's some more jobs. In Canberra, they're seeking multiple regulatory compliance officers and resolution officers for the federal government through high-tech personnel. So you're going to be contacting people in relation to a regulatory compliance and early resolution of complaints and issues before they escalate and go to court. So a great opportunity. You've got a certificate for in government investigations. You'll go right to the top of the list for that role. Investigation specialists down in Melbourne. Great team of investigating specialists are paying up to $75 an hour for a factual licensed investigator down in Victoria. So they're seeking persons experienced in general insurance investigation. So once again, home burglary, home arson, motor vehicle accident, stolen motor vehicles, public liability, dog bites, and sometimes, depending on the policy, even accidents that are unforeseeable, not your fault, that you cause away from the home. So get in touch with investigation specialists in Victoria. Amazing jobs out there at the moment, incredible opportunities. If you are a licensed investigator, you have no excuse for not working. So this week, our most popular YouTube short was done by Evan down in Adelaide. So let's have a look at Evan's short. Yes, Evan won the Australian leg of that event with Casey laughing all the way through it, and she was actually laughing at me. Here's a short where a daughter is supportive of her father.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening.
it's refreshing to see that some daughters are supportive of their father. They don't spend their whole life laughing at them.
My father isn't Jackie Chan.
And as the result of that video last week with me dancing with Marge, we are now banned in Russia by YouTube on copyright for Rock the Casbah. So no one in Russia gets the pleasure of watching this amazing program and winning a private investigator coffee mug and an assume nothing keyring. So you got another like 2 minutes to do that, please, people. So over on Investigations Uni today, I think I've already mentioned it. It was episode number 54 over there. Pat Flynn was taking us through the standards and what's relevant to scene inspections on stairs. And Pat did an incredible job of it with the equipment you have to have and all that sort of thing. Here he is describing the width and the going on the stairs. Pat puts a lot of effort into every presentation to make sure it's right, and you can rely on what he's telling you. You'll never be confused about it. So great program. If you're an Australian Security Academy graduate student and you're not participating in this, send me an email and I'll make sure you're invited every week. So that's really, really important. Just got another job and then we'll do the draw for the keyring. Got the jobs here somewhere. This is an amazing opportunity with a great team at Lewis Wanstall and Associates. You will be an investigator in community services and you'll be investigating a whole range of reportable conduct, NDIS quality safeguards, reports and stuff for the Department of Education and Training. You won't get a better workplace than this to do this type of work. You're fully supported by the great team at Lewis, Wanstall and Associates. G'day everybody down there. I know you watch every week. If you're an Australian Security Academy graduate, they want to speak to you. Don't bother if you studied anywhere else. This is my job of the week. Pinkertons, the world's oldest investigation agency, are seeking investigators to conduct desktop investigations in Western Australia and probably New South Wales and Victoria as well. And they are prepared to pay up to $120,000 a year, and most of your 95% of your investigations will be desktop done from your home office. You will not have to go out, only 5% of the time. So they're looking for people with 2 years experience working in a variety of investigation fields, and they particularly want to hear from people who have knowledge of investigations, case management, HR processes, criminal law, store operations, and also desirable. Pinkertons is an inclusive employer and they encourage everybody to apply. So if you are a licensed investigator, get in touch with Pinkertons. The ad is on Seek. It's on this page. All their contact details are there. That's what they look. It's on LinkedIn as well. Get in touch with Adam. His dad features frequently on this program. Andy Chambers, the author of The Blind Investigator. So get in touch with Adam and start your career off with Pinkertons. Adjuster Corp on the Gold Coast. This is a great opportunity for a desktop investigator. You must be licensed. You must be an Australian Security Academy graduate student. Get in touch with them. You're in Queensland and you're not working as a licensed private investigator. There's no excuse. M&A Investigations wants you. You're an Australian Security Academy student. Adjuster Corp want you if you're an Australian Security Academy student. Pinkertons want you if you're an Australian Security Academy student graduate and you're licensed. There's no excuse for not working anywhere in Australia as a licensed private investigator. Okay, Casey, can you let me know if you can see the giveaway tool? Is it there?
Yep.
Okay, we've got 5 entries. 1 person here out of 5. If you've previously won, it won't let you back in until I change that. All right, so one of these 5 people is going to win a coffee mug and a must-have keyring. Who's it going to be? David. Well done, David. Congratulations, mate. David is now the proud owner of that. And look at that. David will be able to drop that on the table at the pub in front of all his mates and go, "You're bullshitting." I assume nothing. So that's great. Don't take this to the pub. This is the most stolen thing out of investigation agencies in Victoria. It's the most stolen product. You think people hack it and steal people's private... No, this is the most stolen thing in investigation agencies in Victoria. Good on you, David. Well done, mate. You've got to PM me or email me the address you want it sent to. So that's really important. And that will go out on Monday, and you should have it by the end of the week. So have we covered everything, Casey?
I believe so.
You did. I forgot to mention Skip has a degree in China studies.
He does.
Did you see that? Yeah.
Yeah, he's a selenologist, I think it's called.
Yeah. So here's some China. So he obviously studied that, and he probably studied this one as well. That's pretty good. I mean, quite incredible that he's got a degree in that. I don't know what he's going to do at a traffic accident. So stand back. I got a degree in China studies, which is probably his opening joke at all his presentations from now on, I'm sure. Casey, we're going to put the link in the description. So when you watch the replay on YouTube of this program, people, the link will be down in the description to get you 10% off to go and see Skip's OSINT presentation in foreign languages. Amazingly nice guy, really great person. Ask him if he's had a potato scallop and how his budgie smugglers are going. That should confuse you in relation to that. Don't miss those jobs. If you missed them, get on Facebook, look at this job page. If you are an Australian Security Academy graduate, you have no excuse not to be working. You saw a job there 5 minutes ago offering $120,000, and they'll help the beginners in.
That's a fantastic opportunity.
That's pretty amazing. All right. So it's from the world's oldest investigation agency. It's their Australian arm, and they've engaged a lot of people in the last couple of weeks. They're kicking goals down there. And so, sure fact, and so many other investigation agencies. So you want a job and you want to start next week in Melbourne, get in touch with Rob at the Seeker Group. Contact him this afternoon. You'll be starting Monday morning at 8:30. So people, if you've got your license, get out there. Darren's going to be applying for his license today. Good on you, Darren, mate. You are going to be, where you live, you are going to be flat knacker, which is an OSINT term for Australians use. Where you live, you are going to be so busy, it's not funny. Now, I do have to show a couple of videos that I did promise to show earlier. One that's really relevant. I've got to just switch over. We'll be at Investigations Uni for 5 minutes. But this is the type of investigation that Darren's going to be doing in his area of Victoria where he lives. It's a rural country area.
As life is going longer, I'll try to find
So it's really interesting. Darren went to court and watched a court case for his assignment in Certificate 3 in Investigative Services, give evidence in court. One of the matters before the court that Darren reported on was a piece of unguarded machinery on a farm, and the farmer was fined for it. And there you just saw the reason why the courts take workplace health and safety and the regulator WorkSafe Victoria, even though that happened in Queensland, that's why they take it so seriously. It's an accident that happened due to toggles on a hoodie on a cold morning, like it was in Queensland this morning. They couldn't recreate it in a wind tunnel. It was just unlucky. So it was amazing that Darren reported that in his work this week. It just shows you the relevance of going to the Australian Security Academy YouTube channel and just having a look at some of those things on there. It's an amazing resource of information for investigators. I did used to have a picture of it, but it looks like I've deleted it now. It might be over here. There it is. That's our YouTube channel. Get over there and have a look around. Have a look at the playlists and you'll see just what Darren reported on when he went to court. Thanks for joining us, Casey. Really appreciate your help.
You're welcome.
Congratulations, David. I hope you enjoy your coffee mug.
Yes.
The most stolen item out of Victorian investigation agencies, and your keyring that will be there late next week. And Casey and I will be back next week. Thanks for watching. See you then.
We will be.
We've got to go out in our usual way, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
작전 종료. 전원 복귀할 것.
That's it. Our mission's complete. That's how every investigation agency ends its week. That's how Casey's investigation agency ends her week. We forgot to ask Casey, what have you been doing this week?
I've been in an accelerated program actually for Quick Look. So
Very good.
yeah, it's been great. Very it's getting noticed and I'm being invited places. So it's just adding to how busy I am, which I'm certainly not complaining about.
So you've been speaking at events or?
No, so this was an event for female entrepreneurs who have an idea, and I was invited along to, just come and learn how to partner with people, learn how to pitch the idea to partners or investors. So, yeah, it's exciting. Quick Look is it's an important tool, so I'm working very hard to get it out there.
Okay, very good. And you're just starting to sort of see some results from it, I hear?
Yes.
Good on you. That's absolute persistence is what pays.
100%.
Yeah, look, I cannot overemphasize if you're running your own business like Casey is, it's persistence that pays. And here's a little hint for everybody running your own business. Dollars flow from activity. Sitting back and waiting for it to come to you will never happen. Start your own live stream every Friday, right? And it'll come, okay? Do something unusual. I saw CHS in Victoria a couple of years back get all their clients and take them out to lunch in one big conference event. And it was really successful for them. And it was something that no one else did. And they had a speaker there and stuff like that. And everybody thinks you have to be an investigation industry association to do that. No, you just have to be a clever marketer. And did it pay off? My word, it did. And will they do it again? Yes, my word, they will. Are they going to tell anybody? No, right? That's the way they did it. So people, have activity in your marketing, enjoy it, enjoy yourself, enjoy your career. You'll never work a day in your life. See you next week, people. Thanks for watching.
Have a great weekend, everybody.